Paper 1. Topic: Issues related to women. Trafficking of Persons Prevention, Protection and Rehabilitation Bill 2018. Context: activists have appealed to parliamentarians that the draft anti-trafficking legislation be sent to the Standing Committee. They have appealed to the government that the bill should explicitly state that consenting adult workers will not be penalized under the new law. Features of bill: it takes into consideration aggravated forms of trafficking. It includes trafficking for purpose of forced labor, begging, trafficking of a woman or child for the purpose of marriage or under the pretext of marriage or after marriage, trafficking by administering chemical substance or hormones on a person for the purpose of early sexual maturity, etc. It prescribes punishment for promoting and facilitating trafficking of persons. It includes producing, printing, issuing or distributing unissued, tampered or fake certificates, registration or stickers as proof of compliance with government requirements, or commits fraud for procuring or facilitating acquisition of clearances and necessary documents from government agencies. It deals with confidentiality of victims and witnesses and complainants by not disclosing their identity. It will be maintained by recording their statement through video conferencing. It will help transborder and interstate crimes. It has provision for time-bound trial and repatriation of the victims. It will be within a period of 1 year from taking into cognizance. It provides immediate protection of rescued victims and their rehabilitation. The victims will be entitled to interim relief immediately within 30 days to address their physical, mental trauma, etc., and further appropriate relief within 60 days from the date of filing the charge sheet. It creates dedicated institutional mechanisms at district, state, and central level. They will be responsible for prevention, protection, investigation, and rehabilitation work related to trafficking. The tasks of Anti-Trafficking Bureau at the national level will be performed by National Investigation Agency. The punishment prescribed under it ranges from rigorous minimum 10 years to life and fine not less than $1 lakh. In order to break the organized nexus, both at national and international level, it mandates for attachment and forfeiture of property and also proceeds for crime. It comprehensively addresses transnational nature of the crime. It entrusts National Anti-Trafficking Bureau (NAB) to perform functions of international coordination with authorities in foreign countries and international organizations. The opposition. Many have spoken out against the devastating effects that the new bill could have on several stakeholders, which include marginalized groups such as children, the trans community, and consenting sex workers. In fact, it is claimed that the bill is essentially nothing but a veiled attempt to further criminalize sex work. The new bill includes a clause that makes transmission or even exposure to HIV in an instance of trafficking among one of the aggravated offenses. This would have a grave impact on those suffering from HIV. Consenting sex workers will be severely hit by the bill. The sex workers community, which is one of the biggest stakeholders in anti-trafficking legislation, have not been consulted before the drafting of this bill. The bill makes giving chemicals or hormones to another for their accelerated sexual maturity an aggravated offense, a clause that leaves the trans community in a lurch. The new bill also includes child victims of trafficking. Child rights activists have raised concerns about the proposed rehabilitation of children by institutionalizing them, a practice which has often faced international censure. Need for anti-trafficking legislation. More than 300,000 children went missing in the country between 2012 and 2017, government data shows. Around 100,000 are yet to be traced, and it is feared that many of them could have been trafficked. In 2016, for instance, 111,569 children were reported missing. Of these, 55,944 children were traced, but only 8,132 trafficking cases were reported. Many of these children are victims of modern slavery, forced into prostitution, labor, or domestic work. They are also used as drug mules and even given up for adoption illegally. Poverty and lack of opportunity also pushes a lot of young women, especially from the interior parts of West Bengal, Odisha, Bihar, and Jharkhand, into prostitution. Despite the enormity of the problem, India lacks a single comprehensive law for human trafficking. At present, trafficking is covered under half a dozen laws, resulting in confusion and poor enforcement. Way ahead. The new law will make India the leader among South Asian countries to combat trafficking. Trafficking is a global concern also affecting a number of South Asian nations. Amongst them, India is now a pioneer in formulating comprehensive legislation. UNODC and SAARC nations are looking forward to India to take lead by enacting this law.